There's the obsessive compulsive gamer. On a bit of a horror mood, playing Silent Hill. uh, yeah, I forgot just how like suddenly this game just fucking throws you into it. Playing the original Resident Evil. Such a great game. Cheryl. Playing the original Resident Evil. Yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to load my stream again and it's being a douche. Okay. Let me see. I might. Is that how it looks? Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit, try to get a better angle of the screen. See how that looks. God, the atmosphere of this game is fucking legendary. Yeah, that's good. It's good enough. Alright. Footsteps?
Cheryl? Is that Cheryl? Where are you going? Hey, wait! Stop!
Where are you going, you little bitch? Come back here when I'm talking to you, missy. Alright, let's do this. It's amazing how well the atmosphere of this game still holds up after all this time. Oh, yay, blood. What the? What is it? You know, normally I would get on to people for asking dumb questions, but it is genuinely hard to tell what the fuck that is. Man, this game is really fucking effective at doing what it does. That's strange, it's getting darker. Let me tell you something. That's not a good thing. God, man, the opening to this game is so fucking just on point. Yeah. That's the whole point, though. It's to disorientate you. Like I said, they start showing the fucking weird camera. It gets dark. Start hearing the sirens blare. Oh, God, it honestly still does kind of creep me out. And it just gets worse and worse and worse the farther you go. Like, what the fuck?
What is this? What's going on here?
And now you basically have to get murdered by little children. Like, you basically have to die here. Which, thankfully, that was just like a whole dream thing. But like I said, going from like the lit, cloudy streets into the fence and seeing everything fucking wither away and chain, it was great.
Was I dreaming?
How do you feel?
Oh, like I've been run over by a truck. But I'm alright, I guess.
Glad to hear it. You from around here? Why don't you tell me what happened?
Wait a second, I'm just a tourist. I came here for a vacation.
Well, you picked the wrong fucking place.
I don't know what happened. I'd like to find out myself.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen a little girl? Just turned 7 last month. Short, black hair. My daughter.
Sorry. The only person I've seen in this town is you.
Where is everybody?
I'd tell you if I knew, believe me. But from what I can tell, something bizarre is going on.
Yeah, that's pretty on the money.
That's all I know. What's your name?
Harry Mason.
Harry Mason.
Sybil Bennett. I'm a police officer for Brams, the next town over. The phones are all dead, and the radio too. I'm going back to call in some reinforcements. Hold it. Where do you think you're going?
My daughter. I've got to find her.
No way. It's dangerous out there.
In that case, I need to find her now. Cheryl's my little girl. I can't just leave her out there by herself.
Have you got a gun?
No.
Take this, and hope you don't have to use it.
Your man getting handed a gun by a cop?
Now listen to me.
This is either amazing or a trap.
When you pull the trigger, know who you're shooting. And don't do it unless you have to. And don't go blasting me by mistake.
I swear, Your Honor, the cop gave it to me.
Yeah, thanks.
Just immediately shoots her in the face. Well, I didn't do it by mistake.
Do your best to stay nearby. I'll be back with help as quick as I can.
There's some stuff that'll heal you. I think is that where you save? Yeah. When you grab that, shit goes down, so you need to look around. Yeah, give me that kitchen knife. I forgot you can fucking sidestep. To the left, to the left.
What's that?
Yeah, the radio alerts you to monsters. You hear static on the radio?
Radio.
Grab it.
What's going on with that radio?
Ah, fuck.
This is not a dream. What's happening to this place?
Yeah, there's like a whole like open kind of overworld section and you're wandering the town. You should really avoid fighting unless you absolutely have to. And so, after seeing what you saw last time, when you come back here the second time, you're like, wait a minute. Hey, handgun bullets.
Isn't this Cheryl's sketchbook?
1999.
School.
Silent Hill 2 is 2001. Silent Hill 1 was like at the tail end of PS1, and Silent Hill 2 was like at the beginning of PS2. Yeah, definitely. For 1998, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I think I can grab that pipe. I'm not mistaken. Yep. You don't have a lot of ammo, so you're going to be using the fucking shit out of this pipe. Give me a little bit of that old, double up. And whereas Resident Evil had pre-rendered art, which allowed them to have better graphics overall, like more detail, one of the main advantages of Silent Hill being rendered fully in real time was that they could have dynamic camera angles, and they really do. Yeah! You wanna fucking roll? Oh. I'm killing more animals than PETA. Ah. Great. Ah. Oh shit, I think I might already be. God, I'm already low on health. Oh shit. Okay, well, you know, it happens. I'm right there. Game over. Like I said, these games are hard as fuck. But no, like, it's serious. Like, not even kidding. Statistically speaking, PETA kills 95% of the animals they shelter. They fucking kill more animals than they put down. I swear to God, they kill more animals than the people are getting onto. Like, oh God. Yeah. Dude, Stalker took inspiration from Silent Hill, so there you go. Like, you have no idea how influential this game was, man. So many games said, oh, wow, I got a checkpoint right here. Wow, that's actually really nice of them. I didn't think I was going to get an actual checkpoint. It didn't give me a save. That's cool. Hey, you know what? Yeah, I guess I'm about to pop a clip in Fido. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, statistically, PETA puts down 95% of all the animals in shelter. They actually PETA kills more animals than they save. They kill, like, more than the people they're criticizing. PETA is just so dumb. I'm like the reverse John Wick in this bitch. Dude, he was. Did you not hear about that? September 24th. Ah, you bitch. Yeah. No, I mean, you know, I wouldn't feel bad about it, dude. The same thing happened for me. I had to fuck with it to get it to work. It was a long trial and error process. But yeah, just so you know, they already announced the release date for Stalker, man. It's September 24th. So, you know, 24/24. Old Silent Hill, Matheson Street. Okay, I gotta go to Midwich Elementary School. Yeah, exactly. It is super cool. Because, I mean, technically speaking, you can already play PSP stuff on Vita, but you can't access any of the PSP settings. You know what I mean? So, that adrenaline. Yeah. At least there's something. At least, like it wasn't vague. Like, it's coming when it's coming. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I know what you're saying. Plus, the original Stalker, I love it, and I'm sure you love it. But, you know, those games were buggy as fuck. So if they have to take a little bit longer to make sure they're more polished, I'm all for that. That's another thing that sets this apart from fucking Resident Evil. Is in between the more linear buildings, you're actually exploring the town streets. It's kind of got an openish hub thing going on. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, it's gonna be. It's definitely not an easy game to make. So if they have to take a little bit longer to ensure it's not super buggy, because like I said, Stalker 1 was fucking broken at launch, then I'm all for it. At least now you know what I mean? Like before it's just like whenever. Now you can, you know, mark your calendar, get ready. Fuck. Fucking dog. Fuck. Okay, hold on. I couldn't get it. You gotta move. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true. Okay, I'm just gonna do a clean. I'm gonna do a clean restart for my earlier save because I spent too much health items. I'm just gonna run past enemies. I spent too much time trying to fight them. This game is hardest at the beginning because you have no supplies. Once you build up a little bit of a kit, it gets a lot easier. But right now, I just got, you know, I'm sitting here with my dick in my hands, trying to beat fucking werebats and rabid dogs.
What's that? Huh. Radio.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, there's lots of games that get harder as you go. But for me, horror seems like it gets easier because you're just getting a hang on it.
This is not a dream. What's happening to this place?
But like I said, I absolutely think that this game has withstood the test of time. And it's still fucking awesome. Like, the atmosphere in Silent Hill is just still so fresh even now. And it's hard to explain. Like, even just replaying this, playing that opening, going down the fucking street, seeing everything go shadowy, the camera angles, the fucking lighter in the dark, it legitimately still gives me goosebumps, man. Like, you know, it's just like this game has such a unique atmosphere. Okay, so now I managed to get out of that diner without losing any health and keeping my health items, so... Oh yeah, for sure, this is on the store. You definitely should try it. And there's a whole series, but you should obviously start with the first game. So... But like I said, you know, and it looks good. I mean, it looks good on a big screen, but it definitely will look a lot better on a teeny tiny screen. You know what I mean? A lot of these games that are older look a lot better on a smaller screen where they're not so stretched out. So, but it's just easier for me to stream it like this. But I love this game. And like I said, you won't be able to play the rest of the series on this. But, you know, your computer is a supercomputer. You could really easily fucking emulate PS2, man, and then play the rest of the series. So... But I honestly love this game. Like, it's... People often compare these two, Silent Hill and Resident Evil, and I think that's a fair... yeah, it's not bad. It's not terrible. You know what I mean? It has a unique art style. That's a lot of the reason why it still looks good. They didn't go for hyper-realism. Otherwise, it would look shitty. Games that go for hyper-realism don't age very well. But... They compare this to Resident Evil, and I mean, obviously they're going to be compared. They're both PS1, they're both survival horror. But Resident Evil is more gore and in-your-face jump scares, whereas Silent Hill is more psychological, get in your head, what the fuck is going on. They're both good, but they're like two different schools of horror. You know what I mean? Like, one is more slow burn and the other is more, you know, zombies. So, that's why I like them both. Because they both are two different takes on horror. Oh, wait. Shit, I'm supposed to go this way. You don't think you can get... Yeah, you don't think you can get into one? Oh, that's fair. If you can't, you can't. Like I said, I know it's not for everybody, and there is also the remake of the first game. If you can't play the actual original first game, the remake is fucking awesome. It's how you do remakes right. Yeah, I'm just gonna run past these fuckers this time. Serpentine! Serpentine! Bob and weave! Bob and weave! Dick, duck, dodge, duck, and dive! Yeah, see, it went a lot smoother this time. Oh yeah, they were fucking excellent. No, for sure. They kept everything that was good about the original games and expanded upon them and made them better. They're great. So even if you can't play the original Resident Evil, the remake is you know another way to get into it, and it's fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, man. Talk to you in a bit. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I forgot about that fucker. Just fucking jumping you. God, this game still gives me the heebie-jeebies. He's back! Like, seriously, and it's like... I don't know, you know, I think that, like... I think this game is a great example of why stillness can be so effective. Because really, sometimes it is the stillness in this game that fucks me. And I think that that's an important tenet of horror that needs to be more represented. Is that horror does not always need to have something going on. A lot of really amateurs, directors, or people like that think that they need to be constant, woo! But sometimes... the scariest thing in a scene is not what is happening, it's what might happening. It's that not knowing. You know, you walk into an unfamiliar place, and you can't see anything wrong, but something might go wrong. It's that fucking, that dread. Sometimes stillness can be just as effective as noise. And something that's very important to note is if you constantly have noise, it eventually means nothing. You're like, oh, another monster jumping out. I'm used to it by now. But if you're quiet, and then you wait till the right moment and boom! Maximum effect. So the next time you're in that quiet, you're walking around in that quiet, you know at any moment something could break that quiet. And suddenly the silence becomes just as disturbing as the noise. I love horror, I really do. House key. I don't even know where the house key goes, but I guess I'm gonna find out. I know I do need it to go, keep going. I know some of this game because I played through it, but it's been so many years since I played through it that I am rusty on a lot of this shit. You know, that's another thing I miss about old games, dude. Menus. Like, I understand why they've tried to make an effort in modern games to simplify menus, but I kind of miss a good menu, and I also really miss menu sound effects. That was something that's so great about PS1 games, man. Every little time you move something around, you just click, click, boom, click, click, boom. It's just satisfying. Okay, let me see. And what's really great is this game is a very good example of taking technological limitations and turning them into strengths. When they made this game, they originally did not intend for this game to have fog. What happened is they insisted on using 3D graphics instead of pre-rendered, so they could do the camera angles. But they found that they couldn't load up very much because it's fucking PS1. So they actually used the fog to hide the draw distance limitations, and then they wrote it into the story. They took something that was a technological limitation of the engine and turned it into the defining characteristic of the fucking series, man. That's brilliant. Like, well, we can't get around it, so let's fucking play into it. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, man. That's why I'm excited for you, dude. Because you're gonna have the chance to play them now. You can play them on your PSP. It's gonna be fucking great. Like, it's like a whole like generation of games that you didn't play. They're so great, man. Play Spyro, play Crash, play Resident Evil, play fucking Silent Hill, man. Symphony of the Night, Metal Gear Solid. They have a really good version of Doom. That's on PS1, by the way. The version of Doom that's on PS1 was not just a special, was not just a crappy port. It was a special version that had more horror and like colored lighting and better lighting effects. Like the version of Doom on PS1 is special, so I would try out that as well. Right now I'm actually playing off my PS3. See? I don't know what you can see, but it's down there. I'm actually playing off my actual screen. It's just easier for me, and I had it pre-installed. I legitimately owned a lot of games already. You know, because, I mean, you know what I'm saying. Doom is like one of those games, like Skyrim, where it's like, if anybody ports something, if they're going to port Doom, people ported Doom to a calculator. But, like I'm saying, like, the port of Doom to PS1 was a special version that has stuff that still has not been put in any other version of Doom. So it's, like, actually worth trying. And the only bad thing about it was originally it ran like shit, but with you playing it on your Vita, it should not run like shit. Obviously, because, you know, Vita is, like, 1,000 times more powerful than PS1. So, like, they had a more horror soundtrack in the PS1 Doom, and they had, like, colored lighting. So, like, parts of the game where the lighting is flat, it's like red and green and yellow, and it really sells the mood of you being in hell, stuff, you know? And they combined Doom 1 and Doom 2 together into one game, which I thought was fucking dope, and other stuff like that. Like, it's a special version. So, I played a lot of versions of Doom. Here we go. You're not gonna let me open the door? Yeah. Like, it's like an actual, like, combination of Doom 1 and 2 with, like, a bunch of shit added onto it. It's really good. And thus far, they have not brought any of the stuff from that to any other ones. It stands as, like, a really special port. And I love shit like that. There's been so many ports of Doom, but most of the time they're just literally Doom with no adjustments. This is actually like a special version that's got cool shit in it. And then most people don't know that because they didn't advertise it either. So it's kind of a shame too, because it kind of gets underlooked because, well, they didn't advertise. People just thought, oh great, it's the 55th fucking port of Doom. You know what I'm saying? And not realizing it actually added a lot of cool shit. Here we go. I think I'm headed the right way. Oh man, I can't believe you never played. I can't believe you never played Doom. Doom is so great. It is like the granddaddy of first-person shooters, man. Like, I'm not even kidding. It is like the OG fucking first-person shooter. Except it's still good. Like, how well Doom has aged is kind of insane. Like, you'd think with it being like one of the originators of the entire first-person shooter genre, that would have aged badly. No, Doom is still a fucking blast. So, however you can play Doom, fucking play it. I mean, you can get it on anything. Vita, fucking PC, PS4, PS3, 360, I mean, fucking anything. Doom is shit. It's one of those games that has aged like fucking fine wine. Oh yeah, no, of course, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It is much before your time. That's what I'm saying. It's like you kind of see when you look at older games. And it's not that I blame you, but when you look at older games, you see kind of like a nostalgia trip, and obviously there's a portion of that. There are people who just like games because it's what they play when they're kids. Even I'm not immune to that. You know, you play games at a formative time in your life, and it leaves a mark. Whenever you see that game, even if it's a terrible game, because God knows I have nostalgic memories for some terrible games, you think about those things. But I will also say that playing old games can be a lot like you watching a history movie or an old World War II movie. It's like opening a time capsule. And it's, in some ways, it is regressive because you're going back in graphics and all that. But in a lot of the time, the decade in time that a game was made in leaves behind a certain flavor. You know, it's like you could get the exact camera that they used to film movies in the 80s. You know what I mean? And then you could get all the props. But when you made a movie, it still wouldn't really feel like an 80s movie. The culture, the mood, the atmosphere leaves a mark, and you can tell when it's an 80s movie. It's the same thing with games. In terms of technology, they've progressed, but there's also all kinds of things that they used to do that they don't anymore. So when you play older games, you're seeing stuff that is unique. So, you know, you have to look, you know, past the shortcomings. I will admit there are parts where it's like you're used to a game holding your hand, you're used to a game letting you save everywhere. But then there's just, you come across a game like Silent Hill, and there is just no fucking modern equivalent. I mean, there might be when they do the remake, but like it just feels like a 90s. It feels like you're playing a piece of history. It's indelible. So, you know, that's what's so great because they just don't make games the same way. So you're playing something unique. And that to me overcomes a lot of the shortcomings. And you know what I mean? Like, you get what I mean. You know, there's just a certain flavor to 80s action movies. That's not to say there hasn't been any good action movies. You know? But fucking 80s action movies are the shit. It's like a thing. Die Hard. Fucking, you know, Rambo. Predator. Commando. Like, there's a certain flavor to those movies that doesn't happen now. Even if they were to get all the same stuff, there's a certain flavor to PS1 games you're not going to find anymore. And it's like, I don't know, it's like, it brings my love of history and my love of games together. You see, hey, I can see where they came from. Hey, I can see how we got to where we are now. It's like you're unearthing a piece of history. And it's, in some ways, it's really good because you're not getting the history through a secondhand account. You're not getting the history through still. You are playing the history. In a lot of ways, gaming is almost like a fucking amazing time capsule. You are opening the thoughts and dreams of people in the 90s. Well, in their nightmare, in the case of this game. Because whoever came up with the shit in this game was not fucking hugged as a kid. But yeah. So, you know, like, you hear a story and it's good, but you're hearing the story from somebody else. But if I'm like, hey, play Silent Hill. You can play Silent Hill and see the history for yourself. That's what makes games so special. And that's why, people want to yak about piracy. And I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, forgive me. But at the end of the day, that piracy is the only thing that preserves games like this. Because they're not making reproduction copies. They're not keeping the games alive. At a certain point, no matter how well you take care of them, all copies of this game are going to cease to exist, physical. They won't work. And then, any game that wasn't backed up is going to be like it never existed. Gone. Imagine all the games that you grew up with, and you could no longer play them ever again. They were just gone, like memories. Even though they made huge parts of our culture. When we preserve movies, they have a whole Library of Congress that preserves movies that are important to our culture. Do you know how much of our culture has been decided by games? Obviously I don't like Fortnite, okay? But look at the effect that just Fortnite has had on our culture. It's infected a generation of children. It's infected clothing trends. It's infected fucking sayings and slang. It's infected movies. Like, games have, like, a total impact on our culture. And they should be preserved. And these people that they're attacking... aren't doing anything but helping them, because it would be one thing if there was, like, a valid, legal way to get these games. In this case, I actually did buy this back in the day on PS3. So it is mine. But it would be different if there was a legal way to get these. Because then they could say, well, you could have paid us money for our time. But you didn't. There's no fucking legal way to buy a copy of Silent Hill for PS1 that benefits the developer. What, you're going to track it down, you're going to pay $200, and it's not even a single penny of that is going to go to the people who made the game? So, that's what boggles my mind. Is that they literally talk about, like, piracy and emulation and all that, and then they don't offer you an alternative. If you don't want people to pirate something, give them a legal fucking alternative. Yeah, sorry. Like I said, it's just something I feel passionate about. Like I said. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They don't even know what a controller is. And it doesn't matter how well you take care of the games. It's called data rot. Even if you were to keep a CD in an airtight container, it would protect it longer, but eventually it would break down, okay? So these pirates that are so demonized are doing all of gaming a favor by archiving these games. In 100 years, when you and I are gone, when our kids are playing games, and they play a version of fucking Silent Hill, it's gonna be because some dude pirated it online and preserved that fucking shit. And, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They want you to spend an ungodly amount of money, and the money that you spend doesn't go to the developers. It goes to some guy named Greg jerking off in his mom's basement. My W saying here. Sorry. So, the developers act like you're robbing them. But even if you were to track down a PS1 copy and you bought it, you're not giving the money to the developers. And if they wanted money from you, give them a legal way. There's a study, and I'm not going to go into it because this is already an extremely long rant, by the way. But there's a straight-up study that has shown that like 80 to 90% of people, when presented a legal way to get a game that was cheap, affordable, obviously not insanely expensive, would just buy the game. People don't want to pirate. They want to support developers. These people, they literally have no alternative. There's no legal way to buy the game and give the money to the developer. It's like Nintendo. They crack down so fucking hard on emulation, but then they offer no alternative. Oh, you mean I can maybe play 5 of your old games if I subscribe to your service? I can't even fucking buy them on my own? Oh, so fucking magnanimous of you, Nintendo. Yeah, you're so great. It's so frustrating. But, the only time when I feel like game piracy is wrong is when it's a new game, okay? Like, if you pirate a PS5 game, I'm not going to call you a terrible person because it's a game. It's not like you fucking shanked someone. But I will say it's stealing. There are people who try to defend pirating any games. No, okay? If you have the system for the game is readily available, and you got it pirated, you stole it. I mean, like I said, you could definitely do a lot worse, but you can't acknowledge it. But if it's a fucking older game that there's literally no way to buy, even if you fucking wanted... Or like, okay, so check this out right now, okay? Yeah, exactly. Steam preserves games. That's what I'm saying. Do you know how many games are still live because of Steam? Steam is, that say what you're into about Steam. They value old fucking games. You can play a game from the fucking Windows 98. And yeah, exactly. So, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart what has been done. Because when I was a little kid, and back in my day, but when I was a little kid, anybody could collect games. That was the perk of getting older games, is they were cheaper. I could buy one new game, or I could buy 10 older games. And all you really needed was dedication. I would save up $5 from getting the mail, $5 from doing this chore. And then I would go to GameStop, and I would pick out a cheap fucking 360 game. And be like, yeah! I remember I got Dishonored, the first Dishonored, the original version on 360 for $5. The best fucking time of my life. And I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe it's $5. Because they were cheap and nobody wanted them. So, anybody could get into video game collecting. Anybody could play video games. It was just a matter of passion. It was accessible to everyone. That was how it should have been. And now, the prices are so expensive that hardly anybody can collect older games anymore. This entire thing that I loved to do so much as a kid is now basically fucking extinct because either A, when you're buying older games, you're an auctioneer, or B, you have a shit ton of money. The common... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were the shit. They would sell games for super cheap. So it's like, well, I could buy the newest game for $60. Or I could go into GameStop and buy a bunch of old games, walk out with my fucking arms full of games. And they're just as good, they're just old. They literally, at my GameStop, they used to have a name for me. You used to call me the PS2 kid. Because I was the only kid in the store that come in buying PS2 games because I just couldn't get enough of them, man. I used to have a satchel that I carried my games in over my fucking friend's house, dude. It was awesome. I love collecting old games. I loved opening a manual and sitting there. I have a collection. Actually, hold on one second. I think I still have... Oh, come on, you bitch. Where are you? I'll have to find it later. But I still have a pile of game manuals for my favorite games that I collected and put in a Ziploc bag. Back when games used to have fucking manuals. God, you remember that? Like actual books. Yes, exactly. Like game... There were so many fucking games that you could get for cheap. It was just a question of, like, your passion. I was so poor as a kid, and I still was able to get a decent collection because I would take a little here, a little there. Now you can't fucking do it. You can't. And it's so sad because these assholes and their greed... Because I sent you a whole video from Carl Jobst, if you remember, about how, like, the whole video game boom was manufactured. It totally was. These assholes and their greed ruined video game collecting for everyone. For everyone. Like I said, okay? And they actually almost, dude, I don't know if you know this. They almost shut down the PS3 and the PS Vita and the PSP store last year. They almost did it. They were going to. And then at the last second, they decided not to due to fan outrage. And if they had done that, and they had taken down this store, all of those games would be gone forever. and you could no longer re-download them. So that's what I'm saying, is when they finally do shut down the store, because obviously fan outcry was not going to keep it up forever, those games that are pirated are going to be the only way to play these fucking classics. Yeah, there was a riot. Like, I was on that, dude. Like, you're going to shut down PS3? PS3 is still super popular. I mean, this is obviously not anywhere near as much as it used to, but Sony just last month revealed a study that said that 2 million people still use PS3 every month. 2 million active users are still on PS3. A lot of people still love PS3. Dude, I fucking love PS3. PS3 might be my favorite Sony system. Obviously, PS5, it's not a fair comparison because, PS3 is done, whereas PS5 is still getting in the swing of things, and PS5 had the fucking pandemic that greatly slowed down the cycle, so that's not fair. But PS3 is just, God, I love everything about that console. I fucking love it. So when I heard they were gonna shut down the store, I was like, no. Oh yes, right? Fucking Battlefield Bad Company 2C, and they're shutting them down, dude. But you know what? There's been a bunch of games that shut down, and you know who got them up running again? Fucking internet. I guarantee you. Give it 6 months. Give it 6 months, Alex, and you're gonna have fucking fans make a fan server for Bad Company 2 on PC, and it'll be back. Like that. Because fans care about the game. They're the ones keeping it alive. That's what I'm saying. So, like, I'm sorry for like the long tangent, the long TED talk. I just it just upsets me to see how like demonized pirates are and stuff like that when they're the only ones that are keeping these old games preserved. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they're just gonna be gone. Like Silent Hill was part of our culture. I mean, you didn't even play Silent Hill, but you knew what it was. That's how important Silent Hill was. You know what I'm saying? So, and then if it's just gone, we're literally losing a part of our history, our culture, our fucking childhood. Yeah, exactly. You should find out, definitely. See what I mean? There's already fan servers. The fans are fucking legit. And I'm sorry, I'm wrapping this up. I'm gonna get back to playing here soon. I get really passionate about this stuff, and my brain works a mile a minute. Sometimes every now and then I can use my powers of autism for good. Every now and then. So, like I said, it's like I said, if you want people to play older games and the devs want them to buy them, make them available to fucking purchase. Like, it is so hypocritical to bitch about them not buying the game illegally when there's no way for them to buy it legally, okay? You remember, okay, the fucking Wii? The Wii was the first Nintendo system that had a virtual console, okay? The Wii had hundreds of virtual console games, thousands, okay? Nintendo revealed that was their number one seller for Wii. That was like their number one moneymaker outside of their big first-party games as virtual console. It was a runaway success. So why the fuck did they discontinue that from Switch? We went from having thousands of old games to none. And the ones that they aren't adding now, you have to have a subscription to pay. Get the fuck out of here. It's so dumb. And they spit on these older games, man. These games are literally what put them on the fucking map. These games, literally paved the way for the game companies to be what they are now. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm back to playing now. Like I said, at the end of the day, these video game pirates are the ones that are doing the real good shit for the medium. Let me see. Hey, I wonder if I'd actually go into the convenience store. Let's find out. You have to make sure to tell me how you, Oh, is it frozen? Fuck! Son of a whore! Let me check. Fuck. Is it? Is it frozen? Bitch. Where are you? Console, okay? We had hundreds of virtual console games. Yeah, fuck, I think it is. Hold on. I'm gonna end this part here, and I'm gonna switch to Ratchet and Clank. I'm just gonna start playing fucking Ratchet and Clank 1. Be right back.